Apex.
Yeah.
Apex. Put a bunch of time into that now. Got a lot of games in. I had a full talk about an experience. Talk about a journey from the last time this podcast was recorded until now.
Little bit.
A lot of details. A lot of things changed. Life moves fast, as they say, and there was definitely that when stories like this happen, it becomes painfully clear the different pockets of people that only catch what you say on the podcast versus podcast plus Twitter
Plus
versus
only Twitter
versus Twitter plus stream versus only stream and so on and so forth, right? And so that was something where like very quickly after that that really, really bummed out mood I was in on the podcast came the let's try the game out. And then came the news about the fact that Titanfall was in fact still being worked on, and that a real game that is not the VR game is being made. Although they keep saying they're experimenting.
Yeah.
But still, they're doing something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, followed by the bump to Titanfall 2 servers, which I was hoping for, which we've
miraculous
confirmed on all platforms. The servers are way up. A lot of people are going back to Titanfall 2 as a result of experiencing Apex Legends because they're like, oh my god, this game is amazing. Let's go see what the other thing they did. So, or people that knew just going back to be like, I want to try that again.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, that's awesome that Titanfall 2 is like back in the spotlight in a way that it never has been. And also, it's awesome that, Respawn after fucking making the first one, it not hitting, second one sort of hitting, but still not really hitting,
getting killed in the womb.
You know, the knowledge that it still exists and they have this success, and the fact that this thing was like 10 million in 72 hours or whatever the fuck, it's like that's nuts. That's crazy.
Oh man,
and good on them with that.
I just got a really dark joke in my mind. You wouldn't expect games by Respawn Entertainment to get spawn camped.
Yeah,
right outside the
yeah.
I'm born, and then Battlefield just bam.
There's still that sting that it took making a better version of Fortnite for this to happen.
So
that I'm like,
I can sum up a lot of feelings about Apex Legends with a hilarious tweet I saw, which was, hey, can you tell me why I should play Apex Legends instead of Fortnite? Yeah, when you shoot someone in Apex Legends, they don't turn into an 8-story building. Right? Because, I played some Fortnite, and I thought it was cool, and then I watched what high-level Fortnite is.
Yeah.
And it's the worst.
Construction.
It's actually,
construction
thematically
fighting.
Terrible to me. Right?
That's the part of the game I keep forgetting exists because I'm just thinking of PUBG.
Have you seen what the 1v1 at the end between the two top players looks
and they're
like? They're just building farther and farther into the sky because
the walls, the towers.
You got to try and get position.
Yeah.
And it looks like shit.
And you're building nonsense structures. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's quite funny.
This game plays really well. I tried for days and days on PC, and I was like, I just don't have the practice and it in me, and I went from pathetic play on the PC, just embarrassing, to loading it up on PS4, immediately getting kills in a match. Just I don't know if that's because PS4 players are no skill babies, or that I am also a no skill baby, or that I'm just so much used to my controller. But when I played on the PC with my Xbox controller, was the only game I ever got kills in. Right? It's just I've spent too much time on. I'm more comfortable with a pad, so I'm gonna go play with all the other pad players. And I've played both versions extensively. The PS4 version on the Pro anyway has absolutely no frame rate problems of any kind. It's like around 45 when you're dropping, from the ship.
Yep.
but in gameplay, it's perfectly smooth.
So I had a similar journey. That's actually interesting because for me, the first thing I did was grab my controller and load up the PC version, play with some friends,
Yep.
right? But even before playing with friends, I wanted to do training, and then I wanted to just play some games randomly. I picked Pathfinder, and
Okay.
because of course I'm gonna go for the only one that might have a maneuverable a grappling hook.
Yeah. Also, Brobot is the shit.
So I went straight to Pathfinder, and it was just pathetic, as you said, embarrassing.
Yeah.
I couldn't do anything.
And it's like, oh, that guy had so much more movement control than I did, or aiming control, and it's like, that's my fault because I'm playing with this method.
I was absolute dead weight. I was also like having a really salty first session.
Oh yeah.
Of not just like the effectiveness, but just being like, I jumped too early because I thought I would be able to double jump, because the similar feel of the run and slide
feels really similar.
It feels so similar. The fact that the running around feels so much like Titanfall, and the sliding part as well. I kind of go, man, it makes me jump early and then realize I don't have a double jump, and I went so I know, reset the clock, we see it.
I look at Pathfinder and I see, oh, he's got the grapple hook.
Yeah.
There will be a wall running character coming.
Maybe
and that will be their thing.
Maybe. The fact that we see the video of motherfucker zipping, grappling the ground and just spinning in a full circle around the last guy.
With just cause physics.
Nonsense, right?
Yeah.
Absolute nonsense. So that's a thing that happens. But I picked that character, and with the controller, I'm doing nothing. I'm an anchor, not in the sense that I'm an anchor on the team as the one you rely on.
Weighing the boat
I'm
down.
weighing the boat down, and there's nothing else and it's just not helping. So there's, in addition to not being familiar at all with battle royale,
the genre again,
anything, right? Yeah. So then I go, all right. I play some games with some friends. So, again, similarly, like embarrassing results, can't hit shit. Everything's just outclassing me, and that's the end of that. I decide to install the PS4 version just to know.
Yep.
Is this really just the mouse versus controller Quake situation again?
Yep.
Or not? And just like with Overwatch, load up PS4. Oh yeah, no, totally.
Yeah, that's exactly what's happening.
On PS4, I'm like
we are console children.
Yeah. No, I'm not a shooter. In general, my aim is lower than the average person that plays more shooters in general.
Yeah, totally, sure.
But still, I was not completely worthless.
Yeah.
As a
I killed the guy.
I got exactly. I hit the target.
Or in the fights that you lose, I got to shoot them.
I did the thing a little bit, and I went, okay, so there's that. Plus, they're not hitting you as dead on as well.
Yeah.
Right. So their aim is a lot less, and then you have the fact that you're possibly just playing with children.
Well, I streamed it and was having a miserable time in that, it's just so bad, and everyone's like, dude, just play it on PS4. Max is playing it on PS4 right now, and I kind of have to admit, I am a little embarrassed how much that particular part made it okay in my mind.
In your brain?
When I went and downloaded it and started up my first match and was like, do you want to invite your friend, Maximilian Dude, to play with it? I'm like, no, I'm not going to send him an invite. He's streaming it right now.
Yeah.
But, like, the point of, like,
He's
that
there.
adds legitimacy to that version in my mind.
So there, I had that moment, right? And then I remember because like Min plays Overwatch on console, for example, right? And I was like, okay, so you can play here with people on controllers, and this is controller land, and you can actually be effective because everyone else is kind of like you.
Yeah.
And
let me grab something for you. You know what's really wild about the PS4 version of Fortnite? Plug a massive fucking keyboard into it.
Oh yeah. I'm sure.
Fuck.
I'm sure.
It's officially supported. It's not like a Cronus Max like hack thing. You just plug it right in.
So knowing that, then I was like, okay, so this is what it is. Load into like my first or second game, and two people just fucking disconnect.
Yep.
And I'm solo. so I'm then playing a game solo.
Yep.
Did surprisingly better than I thought I would.
Same exact thing happened to me. I got like number 4.
I got 4th.
And I was like,
Solo.
by myself.
Yeah. And it was like, okay. But then still went into another game. Someone fucking dropped. Loaded up another game. Dudes were yelling in Spanish. And I was like, let me turn on that voice translator thing where it turns it into text, please. And
does that turn their voices off?
It turns their voices off, and it turns what they say into chat.
That's okay. So let's
incredible.
I would like to switch gears here to talk about.
Sure.
Like, we'll get back to the gameplay. Fuck this game's gameplay. Who cares? That's not what's amazing. This game has the most impressive interface of any game I've ever seen. It is unbelievable how every single part of the interface is perfect.
As opposed to Anthem.
I did not even know that that's what it actually did. I assumed it would also have it voice and then... No, okay. I don't want to hear a fucking human being.
No, it turns them off.
Ever.
It turns them off.
Right?
I don't want to hear the ruffling of your chair or whatever is happening in the background of your house.
I'm past that point in my life.
Yep.
Right? I never want to hear another human being unless it's somebody in my Discord. Right? So, they must realize that that is a really common sentiment. Because this game's ping system means you don't ever have to hear another human being ever again. Everything that you would ever need to do in this game is adequately and quickly resolved by that ping system.
Yep.
Hey, dude, did you know that you can go into your inventory and then cursor over the ammunition type for the gun you're using
and say,
go,
hey, I need ammo.
I need heavy ammo.
Yeah.
If you see any heavy ammo, please ping it.
You can not only can you say I need heavy ammo, you can say I need a heavy ammo extended clip.
Yeah. Do you have any? And usually a teammate will just throw it on the floor. You pick it up, and when you pick it up, the game goes hit down on the D-pad to thank them, and your character will go, "Hey, thanks, man!" in their unique.
Yep.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Like holy shit.
Like the thing that Overwatch doesn't have.
The thing that no other game has anything like.
But could have absolutely crushed if it did.
Yeah.
To just, hey, let's go over here. I agree. I'm looting over here. Okay. Yeah, no problem. I found this.
Cool.
Yeah.
and
enemy spotted. Enemy spotted. Where? Right there. Like
right there. So the one that gets me, and it's so weird because it's so obvious now, but it is a line of dialogue that I would never a type that I would never even thought to include, which is someone has been here.
Oh yeah.
Is the most useful thing you could ever say.
But that is based on a character's ability.
No, it's not. You find an open door, you could similarly just ping the area and just tell some people have been here.
What if you ping the door being open?
No, it's hold the button down and upper left is
the general.
Someone's
yes.
been here.
Okay. Because there's also the ability,
and there's also the specific tracking one.
Yeah. Right. So there's that. One thing that's here to stay is the Overwatch
hero system.
The Overwatch hero system and the Overwatch the occasional ult, is here. Like that's it. Between Anthem and this and fucking everything else that's doing it this way, where you get 3 things. This being broken up into passive, active, and ult is even simpler.
I actually really like the passive part of it a lot.
Yeah, it takes one learning step away for most people. Like in a lot of cases, it's like, no, don't worry about this one. Just know that the character can do it.
I just like all of their passives. I think their passives are all really good.
Yeah. Right now, I don't know. Like I've asked some of the guys I play with if like, hey, do you feel like comps are a thing yet? And like they've said no. I don't know if other people are finding differently with that, where it's like, hey, this team plus this team with these 2 characters together works really well, or
maybe
this kind of strategy. But so here's the thing. So like I said, I was on PS4 and I noticed that that's where I was being effective, right? I could have simply accepted that now I can play with other people and that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
But I decided to go back to the PC then.
Yeah.
Where my friends were, and Skull God and the rest of the people and the crew were. Then they also explained the fact that like at the highest level. Controller versus keyboard, you just don't stand a chance. But there are people on controllers that are way better than everyone you know on a keyboard.
Yeah,
that are doing
absolutely.
it. And the proficiency for both is quite high. So like sticks, arcade sticks and like controllers, there is a high level of proficiency you can attain with a controller. So don't feel that bad about it, right? If you wanted to, you could actually just learn to use that and make it work. And I was like, okay, let me do this. So I continued, and I was like, all right, I got a little bit better, but not much. And then I made a switch to Gibraltar.
Gibraltar, yeah.
And now
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar, excuse me.
That's how it's pronounced. Apparently.
The Rock of Gibraltar.
Yeah.
And now I'm playing the game.
Oh, yeah.
Now I'm actively getting kills in our matches. I'm actively...
You like that gun shield, huh?
I'm shielding. I'm calling in the strikes. I'm throwing down... I'm playing modified Reinhardt for my team, but that shield is not the same because it's not a one-way shield. It's two-way.
Yeah.
So you have to be smart about that. But basically, also, he does a partial haka.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not sure if he's... he's Polynesian, but I'm not sure what specific type of Polynesian. But either way,
well, he in his animated kill, he pulls out an obsidian mace.
It's the
it is a proper. I'm not familiar with it.
I forget the name.
It's
of
clearly
it,
an islander weapon.
Yes, it's a Maori type of sword thing that you use as well, and you can do haka with it as well. But. Yeah, so that, style-wise, he used the character besides the robot that I thought was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But in addition to just that, his kit, I was like, oh, I can actually help my team now. So I'm not an anchor anymore. I'm actually, I'm having
a human being.
Yeah, and I'm having some proud kills. Like last night, we were ziplining, and I tossed a fire grenade down while mid-zipline right on top of a dude, and the line it fell in such a way where he ran through the line and died. And I'm like, yeah, I'm getting them in there. So I'm feeling a lot better now because I guess Pathfinder was just not the character for me, Yeah. And the grappling feels really good, and I fucking love the abilities with it. And you can grapple people.
I think that Pathfinder's passive is the most interesting thing in the game by far.
But I was going to get to that, right?
Yeah.
So Pathfinder's passive being scout out that survey beacon and see where the ring is closing even one layer deeper.
Yeah,
is amazing.
So a lot of people are saying it's not that good. It gets better the longer you're in the game. The smaller that circle gets, because eventually the circle is going to close in around a building or something. If you can be inside that fucking building,
yeah.
Holy shit.
So a lot of the early game was me, because I can't shoot and help anybody, I'm just relying on getting that survey, because I can do that. I can grapple up to a survey beacon and show you guys the map.
Yeah.
I'm helping, right? And it was yeah, sort of.
In the early game, it's just really not that useful.
But anyway, right now, I'm no, being assisting in a firefight, getting kills, downing people, that's a much better use of my thing. And plus, now there's a thing where I'm okay, as this dude, as Gibraltar, feed me your ult amplifiers. Let me get that airstrike as quick as possible, so that as soon as we engage, we have one ready to go.
Yeah,
and tactically, throwing things down when people need to
heal. The
ults
are actually way more powerful than I was expecting. They're really strong. They're really, really good.
His lasts a while.
Bangalore's is very similar.
Bangalore's is interesting in the sense that it's not as good because they don't explode right away, but they spread out more.
They also hurt your team.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So, and it takes a while for her to get it compared to
others, what's it called? Gibraltar's is, you're all going to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Right now. You're going to fuck off.
Yeah.
And Bangalore's is, you will move. You will move from where you are.
You will not stay here. Right.
I know you're there, and you are going to move.
Right. It's interesting in how similar they are.
It's essentially a push.
But both of them are completely worthless indoors.
Well, yeah.
So they're circumstantial to that degree.
Well, luckily, 95% of the game takes place out of buildings.
Yeah. So yeah, it's
I was given a decent piece of advice, which is if you have a lifeline on your team, give her the ult accelerant. because high-powered defensive items for the whole team is way more useful than anybody else's.
Yeah, exactly. That
thing. Everyone's got purple shields now? Okay, we're now 200% stronger.
Yeah. That's one as well. Like, feed the girl. Feed her.
Whereas, like, say, Bloodhounds is like, it's really, really good, but you can hold on to that until a firefight starts. It's not going to be a problem.
Caustic on the team is pretty handy in a lot of ways.
Have not played with a Caustic on my team yet.
Played with a lot of Caustics. Those grenades, those gas things are pretty fantastic and handy. So, yeah, all this to say, then, that the game is very good. The game is very fun. It's really
good. I'm very big enjoying it.
The game is very fun. I'm enjoying a battle royale, and I'm ultimately like, I feel good knowing that Titanfall exists as well. You know,
it is a battle royale modeled after the type of shooter that is my favorite to play.
So, this is a net win, and boy, I feel like one thing too with like the way I was reacting last week as well is that it's like, dude, you're overreacting, and it's like, well, you have to understand that what I'm reacting to is the knowledge that my franchise is dead, and that it's over.
Yeah,
right. So it's a very different thing to now come back and go, oh, that was an overreaction. It's like, well, because it undied.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, the game existing and not having the stuff that I wanted it to have, ultimately, I was still, like I said, you can go back and find, like, the first moment where I'm like, okay, well, it's weird it doesn't have it, but it's allowed to be its own thing. That's okay. But Titanfall 3 is what I really, really care about, you know? Mm-hmm. So, all that to say that, yeah, man, this is something that I'm, like, currently at, you know, like, feeling the moment, and I want to say that, like, the things, there were a couple steps that warmed me up, even when I kind of was, like, when I had no knowledge of the genre, and when I wasn't really, when I was still feeling like, you know, like, down about it, the things that kind of cracked me open, right? The first thing was the music.
Yeah, it's very good.
The music is incredible. And the second thing was the swelling music as you drop in as a team.
It's very dramatic.
I really, really enjoyed that immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I'm not going to pretend like that. No, that is rad. And like dropping in these games is always a big mechanic and whatnot. Dropping in as a team while the theme it lasts just long enough so that by the time you land on foot, it's played out to it's crescendoed and then dropped out. I'm like, yeah, it makes the start of every game feel really, really dramatic, and I really enjoyed that. And then, of course, you know, you don't really hear anything else until the fucking game's over.
Yeah.
You know? But like you said, the ability to ping things makes it not only is it handy so that you don't have to deal with talking to humans.
Yeah.
But it's also handy because I need cursors on my map for awareness.
Yeah.
I need things on my...
Jimmy's saying, hey, there's a guy down by the thing. It's like, okay, where is that? Where?
Right.
Where, though?
So, like, when we play other games and stuff like that, it'd be like, if I'm not as familiar with this map, or I'm just, again, I just don't have that strong level of awareness, they'll be like, under the bank, next to the bridge, he's running.
Like, what? Where is that?
Throw an 8 on top of the... he's gone. And I'd be like, you know.
I literally don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Right.
Like,
and it's like now it's basically like throw it at the thing I just pinged, you know,
fucking there. It's fucking right there.
Exactly. And you have the option in the settings to make it 3D or 2D.
Yep.
So you can, you know what I mean? Like there's all kinds of like extra clarity options for knowing where you're pinging.
Two things. Wait, 3 things about that game in terms of little. Well, not so little, but little gameplay things. So it's like, this is an amalgamation of every good idea that I can think of, as well as some new ones. So, number 1 is that when you drop into an area, the area is discrete to the point of it will be named and will even tell you what rarity of loot will fucking spawn there.
Shoutouts to Skulltown.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. That's really good, because in PUBG, for example, you fly into the military base. It's very dangerous. It's very likely to be a lot of players, but military base has a lot of good stuff, right? That's stuff that will take a long time to learn. Drop into the airfield at the fucking north end of the map in Apex. purple, high tier loot in the airfield. Like,
Yeah.
okay, great. Thank you.
Fuck it, let's land on the airship. You done that yet?
Yeah, it's a mess.
Well, here's the deal. Land on the airship, melee.
Just immediately start. Yeah, that's where I got my first kill.
Okay.
Because I kicked somebody the fuck off.
Exactly, right? Pro tip.
Don't go for the guns. Just start hitting people immediately.
Different melee puts them in different positions. So the damage is the same, but when you slide, you do like an uppercut. When you jump, you do a jump kick. When you stand, you do a punch. Each thing knocks you in differently.
I think the melee system in that game is the best of any battle royale because all the battle royales have melee shit shows when nobody has a gun and you land right next to each other,
Yeah.
and it is terrible. It is the worst ever, right? And here, all melees have a visible long windup, do a bunch of damage, and knock back.
Yeah. So the thing is the melees are nowhere near what they were in Titanfall.
Of course not.
Right?
They can't be.
And they can't be. They can't be for what the game is. Because you're going to be in melee. You're going to be meleeing in many more situations than you originally were in there. But the fact that like it exists in that way where you can kick people off the thing is fucking sick. That's cool. And again, I like the fact that you have the like again the ability to like grapple them with robot. The executions are interesting because it's a big style and finish that will probably get you killed.
I really hope that was the last man in the team that you're doing.
You better
this to.
confirm that it was, because otherwise, what are you doing? But if it was the last man in the team, then the whole squad goes down anyway. You know. So if you're crawling around and the last team member dies, you all die. Your squad's eliminated. So the execution is only performed when at least one person is living, and the execution animation, you're vulnerable.
They're very long. Also,
They're very long. You're very, very vulnerable. There's no
it's
like
all for style.
yeah, you know, and they're
And points. You get
they're
points.
fancy. And yes, you stop them from being able to get revived by their buddy, but it's like fuck, you're just gonna stand there and possibly get shot by the guy that's coming to revive them, you know? So
I actually want to mention the revive system. That was one of the things. This game's revive system is fascinating.
2 layers.
Listen, you're downed and then you get killed. First of all, getting downed in this game, you are more powerful than in any other game I have ever played when you are downed.
Yeah.
Because you have a dedicated shield pickup that will protect you significantly from being murdered. Very weird, but cool, I get it. You have something to do. So they can pick you up. They fail to do so within 90 seconds. Okay, you're dead. You're now a crate. Okay, wait a second.
Coffin.
They can run up and pick up your card off the crate, and then they can bring you to these big-ass, vulnerable, glowing terminals
With items around them.
that will actually airdrop the team back in, but it takes a while, and you can see the thing come in.
Naked.
I got to do that once. I got that achievement on play of like it's called Team Player.
Yeah.
and it's like you managed to survive, and both your teammates are fucking dead. And
Yeah.
you brought them right the fuck back into the game. That is great.
Yeah, no. So my boy Tui, really awesome sniper that I play with. His main skill is sniping, but his second ability is picking up the tags and ninja-ing the fuck out of a hot zone, right? Because escaping a hot zone is a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially when you're 1 and they're 3.
Yeah.
But like he's very good at doing that. So we've had multiple games. We've had games where we've come back twice. You know. But that's a really cool thing where it's like, yeah, you got the Gears of War pickup, and then you've got the actual respawn,
And
which I don't know if any other BR
absolutely
games ever. No, eh?
You can't respawn.
Yeah, that's
Period.
it. You're out, and that's the end of the
And
game.
how appropriate by respawn.
Right.
And the other thing, and it goes into right at what you were saying at the end of how hard it is to get out of a hot zone. The way the levels have been designed, and I mentioned earlier that the zones or whatever are discrete.
Yep.
They're essentially big maps that have been stapled together.
Some of which are previous Titanfall areas.
Yeah, but here's what's really important. What's really important is that all of these big map areas are at the lowest point in the game's vertical space, and all of the connecting points are at medium to high points in the game's vertical space. So what does this mean? It means that escaping the area in a gunfight is extraordinarily difficult
because you're
running up a hill with your back to people visible from everywhere.
Yeah.
But what it means is that once you get to that transfer point, as you climb up the hill and get to the tunnel or the bridge or
you
whatever,
have the high ground.
You have the high ground, and getting deep into that thing is trivial because you slide at like 300% or fucking whatever speed down into the thing.
Yeah.
So transferring into levels has its own mechanics to it.
Engaging is very easy. Also, it comes into play when you're running from the circle, which you're going to be doing a lot of.
Yeah.
Which is a whole other thing you never had to do before, you know. So, yeah, man.
It's a good game.
Really good.
I'm probably very much likely going to keep playing on PS4, mainly because none of my pals that usually I would play shooters with have any interest in this game at all.
Okay.
On the PC. And so, like, I got a couple buddies who might play it on PS4. So, fuck it, I'll just play it on PS4. I'm probably going to play that game solo forever.
Yeah.
Like, realistically.
No, there's enough going on in there that I'm in. I still crave my movement, but I'm just going to sit and wait for the Titans to come back. And in the meantime, I'll enjoy Apex.
Do you think there's any possibility at all that there will a character will eventually arrive that their ult is a Titan, or is that just way too much?
I think it's too. The fact, like, I think that would cement Titanfall being dead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's such a mechanic, and you're walking around on the map in a Titan. Like,
you know what I can see happening, and I think we talked about this before, is that there can be some kind of event where instead of a supply cache dropping on the map, a Titan drops on the map.
Right.
And just fuck it. Say all 3 characters need to get in to pilot it. Right? Or some shit.
You know it takes place in the same world, right?
I do know that.
At the end of that intro, the guy looking at you is fucking Blisk.
Yeah, I know. But at the same time, like, even if not, it's really obvious it takes place in the same world because characters are being designed around former Titanfall 2 multiplayer abilities.
Also, look at that monster in the water over there.
Yeah. Like, Mirage is the most fascinating character in the game to me because he is literally a single Titanfall 2 item turned into a character.
Right.
He's that grenade that would cause a dude to run forward.
Yeah.
As an entire kit.
Or your grappling hook robot is now
the whole kit.
The grappling hook robot. Yeah, exactly. Except, and there's like parody. There's one of his things where he's parodying Bastion, where like a crow comes to land on him, and then it starts pecking the shit out of him. He's like, ah. Anyway, so yeah, that's gonna be continue to exist.
I think Bloodhound's tracking ability is like my favorite ability I've ever seen in a game.
I should probably pick him just to see.
To see what it looks like.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. So you'll be running, and if anyone's passed through an area like up to, I want to say, like a minute prior, you'll see a icon and a track on the ground, and the track will be blood or footprints or jump or scrambled over or whatever. Cool. And it has a border around it that is ticking down to let you know how old is this.
Right.
And it will point
Monster Hunter,
and they will point in a direction, and you'll be able to go, a guy vaulted over here and he was bleeding and he went that way.
Monster Hunter.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
As a area of map awareness.
Also wall hack, but not an amazing one.
It's okay.
It's a short range wall hack.
This feels iffy because there's the points. So boop. Okay, no, there are people here. I should fucking smart up.
But like the range you have to use it in is one where your footsteps are quite clear,
and also the enemy sees it.
You're about to engage.
They can see you doing the move. Like the beam or whatever, like it's visible.
It comes through the wall.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that.
And your team can also see any pings that it does.
Okay.
But his ult is really wild. Have you seen what it looks like?
I don't really.
Bloodhound gains twice movement speed, and the world goes black and white except for enemies that show up in bright red at any distance.
Oh, wow.
So it is particularly strong with snipers because it's like, okay, I can see the whole map. Boo! Oh, he's there. Bam.
No one escapes my sights.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I've now that I'm back on PC doing well, and playing with my friends, that's the most enjoyable for me.
It's a very good game.
Because I get to keep my pride in check, and I get to use the control style I like. I switched my aiming curve to steady, by the way.
Oh, yeah?
I did. I went through the... I remember this in Titanfall as well. It's the same curves. And if for any reason you feel like you might want to practice and try that out, go into the training range and try them out. Mm-hmm. But aim curve steady. If you see a fucking Mozambique, you run. You leave that shit alone.
It's wild how every gun in the game is pretty good to good, except for that one.
There's a list. There's a basic gun tier.
Oh, I
list.
know there's a list.
Yeah, but
there's the list.
Yeah,
and then over here, in the gutter is Mozambique.
So like we were playing a game when I was just like, oh god, I saw like 2 of them, and I'm just like, enemy sighted, like fuck this thing, and it's so common. You run into it all the time, and it's the worst fucking shotgun in the planet. Anyway, fuck that gun. But the so that's Apex.
I foresee a lot of that roster screen is so empty. It will continue very much.
There's an easy Overwatch sized cast possibility.
Yeah, there you could get a lot.
Play it to earn bucks.
And the last thing that I want to say about Apex Legends is that, boy, it's been successful.
Yeah.
1 million concurrent, 10 million played within a few days. Wow. What a massive success. By the way, Anthem comes out on Friday.
Oh.